Welcome back to the channel with another one, but this time we're not talking about a tenant. So we're not talking about it being from the perspective of a landlord. We're now talking about when we were tenants because let me tell you, we had our share of some horrible landlords. Like who would you say the top two worst landlords were?
Top of my list, I would probably say Roger and Bonnie. Who would you say?
So I would definitely give it to Roger. He takes the icing on the cake. He's definitely the king of slumlords. But the second one I would say is this landlord we had in El Paso, Texas. I just cannot remember her name. I
Oh
think it was Maria. I'm not
my goodness.
100% certain if
I
that was her name.
I totally forgot about her. I don't know. Look, can I switch? Can I switch her?
Nah, you gotta keep it through too.
Oh my goodness. She was horrible.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So we're gonna talk about which one you want to do, the top one today, or should we do number two?
I think we should do Roger. Let's start it off right.
Let's talk about the king of slumlords himself. I mean, this dude takes the icing on the cake. Where do we start?
But before we start, T, let them know why we doing this type of style video. It's not our regular type video.
Because it's just straight gonna be raw. Ain't no, we just gonna give it to you raw how it is.
Ain't no cuts, filters, nothing. Just how it is. Take a peek into our conversation.
So what would you got to say about the king of slumlords?
Okay, so I would probably say if we looked up a dictionary and seen the word slumlord, you would see his face.
But tell them why. I'm saying what you got.
Y'all, the moment we met this guy, if I had 3 words to describe him, it will be sneaky, greedy, and a liar. Liar.
That's definitely
What would you say?
That's definitely accurate. Hey, by the way, y'all, she found this slumlord dude.
Don't blame that on me.
I don't even know where she found him
I
at.
think I found him on Craigslist.
I was about to
It was
say,
Craigslist.
was it Craigslist?
Y'all stay off of Craigslist.
You do some crazy things when you're young and just don't know things.
Yeah.
We found him on
Craigslist.
Craigslist. But this dude, he was very. I say he thought he was slick, thought he was smooth, and he thought he was untouchable because he been doing this for a long time until we came and finally shut him down.
Yeah. Yep, that's exactly what happened. That's the right word, untouchable.
So you want to start by telling them what happened? Or?
Okay, so when we first met this guy, I called him while I was at work and because we needed a place to stay. And I found the house on Craigslist, like T said, and I called him and he told me, remember what he told me? He was in Florida right now. So he couldn't show us the property until next week. It's crazy how things work out. I said, okay. And then I called T. I was like, T, I just talked to this guy. He owns the property. And you're not going to believe where the property is. He's like, where? I told him where it was. Y'all, 5 minutes from the job. I was like, look, we were so happy because we've been looking for properties. How long would you say we've been looking for properties at that time?
I don't know.
A long time because we couldn't find anything. That comes with being broke. So, but, so a week passed, we meet the guy and we were like, oh my goodness. Like, because on the phone, he didn't sound like he was black. I didn't know that this was a black guy. I was like, oh my goodness. Oh, it's going to be nice. Written from, one of us. Oh my goodness. And he's like, yeah, I have all these properties. I work at the school district. I have this and that. Y'all, when we seen the property, we couldn't believe it. He was like, there's no credit check. There's no, all he needs. Did we even have to pay security to move in?
I don't think we did.
No, I think it was just move in. So when we went to the property, it was someone there and they were showing us around. I don't know why he wasn't, but it was like this hippie group of people. And the place was like really, really dark. But you could get the idea. It was a 2-story Victorian. How many bathrooms was it? How many bedrooms and bathrooms?
Was it? Let's see. Upstairs, just one in the back, one to the middle left. I want to say it was 4 bedrooms, 2 bath. I
Yeah.
think. I know. I think it was like 4 2.
4 bedrooms, 2 bath. And at the time, y'all, I was 9 months pregnant with my second child. So we was like, oh my goodness, we had a gold mine. And at the time, that property, I would never forget it. It was $950 for a 4 bedroom, 2 bath. We could not believe it. Um, what were some of the things that you noticed when we walked in there?
Well, first, let me go back. Did you say we were poor?
Yeah.
And so let me tell you about poor. I had actually just recently lost my job. So when you talk about the job being down the street, that was the job that I worked at in the bank, and then now she ended up working at the bank. It was crazy with being poor because that I remember calling that day like, "Hey, I just got laid off," and she's like, "What? Ain't no way you've been doing that for since you first got out of high school." Like,
Exactly.
yeah. So yeah, we were really like in the struggle.
We would.
But with this house, I mean, it had a huge deck in the back that was
Oh
nice.
yeah, I remember that deck.
Had the alley that you can just pull in and park in the back, and it was just a nice neighborhood
It
and
would.
everything. So it was even very close to the park, a nice park. It was close to my old elementary school was right down the street from it, like maybe
Close to your
7
parents'
minute
house
walk.
right there.
Close to my parents' house. Literally, I can ride the bike to my parents' house and be there in probably definitely less than 10 minutes.
And the cool thing about it, the Nasir, he was able to go to your old elementary school because of where we were.
Yeah.
That was like it was like the perfect setup.
So it was a very nice looking house, and in the community, it was like, okay, yeah, this is where I basically grew up at on the street and everything. So
Yeah. And this in this area was it known for being like upper middle class or not really? Or just was just nice houses?
nah, it wasn't. That wasn't up
Was it middle
there.
class?
Uh, it was just to say it was nice.
It was a nice area.
Um,
So when you walked in, T, what was the first thing that you noticed when we walked in?
First noticing my thing was what's up with the lights. That was my thing
Remember
because
we
it was
saying
dark.
this.
Uh, I can't remember what the answer was,
Me
but
either.
I know the guy said, "Yeah, I'm moving out." So guess the lights are out. I know he fed us some crap. And when you're young, you kind of just go with the flow on things when anybody tell you. So other than that, I mean, the house looked nice, and Roger was like, "I'm gonna buff the floors and everything." Were nice, shiny wooden original floors that were
Yep,
just
original wood. It
stained
was
original
nice.
wood. Upstairs, downstairs. I mean, super super nice place.
But the one thing that was highly weird, it didn't have a stove, T.
Yeah, so we like, how's this dude in here eating? There's no stove in there, and
The college kids said they just don't use a stove anyway, right?
yeah,
So we was like, did he tell us that he moved it out because they don't use it?
I think he said he took it out and moved it to another tenant's place. That's what he said.
We were so stupid back
Oh
then.
my god.
If I would have known,
Red flags.
so many red flags. So fast forward, you guys. Um, we move in. There's no stove at all. Still no stove. And then we're like, okay, Roger, there's no stove. He said, oh, I'm gonna deliver in a couple of days. 3 days go by. Still no stove. A week goes by. Still no stove. 3 weeks, was it 3 weeks after we moved in?
About
He
3 weeks.
finally brings a stove. And y'all wouldn't believe this one. That stove didn't even go to the house.
It didn't even fit.
It didn't
was
even
so
fit.
small.
It
But
was an electric stove for a gas hookup.
yeah, he bought the wrong stove and backtracked for a second to before even moving in with the lease.
Oh
Since
yeah.
I didn't have a job, he said, since you're not working, you can't sign the lease. You can't be on the lease. I said, okay, all right. So she signed the lease, and he said, "Oh man, I can't get you a copy right now. This I only got one copy of this lease. I'll bring back a copy to you." And he came back. I think he brought back the copy, didn't he?
I
But
had
I
the
know,
copy. Yeah, he brought back.
did he not give you the copy? I mean, did he not take a copy? Something happened.
Something would happen with the copy.
But I ended up signing a separate lease. He ended up having me do a whole completely separate lease for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, I don't even got a job right now. Why am I signing a separate lease? But he said, yeah, this is how it works. You know, I've been doing this for a long time. Blase, blase. So I don't know what happened with that.
Now, T, wait, just think about it. Why do you think now he had you sign that separate lease? What is he trying to do?
Shoot, dude was shady. I guess he was trying to end up like, look, I'm gonna collect from you, and I'm
Exactly.
gonna
That's what
collect
that's
from
what I
you.
just thought too. Like he was
Yeah,
gonna
this,
collect from both of us.
yeah, like we just like it's a dorm, you know, and
Yeah,
everybody
like
stays in one room getting
exactly.
all this money. I think that's what he
Like
was
a
trying to do.
sublease.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And yours said 952.
And it said different amounts on it.
Oh my goodness.
Actually, yeah, it said different amounts. It didn't say the
Oh, it
950.
didn't say it? What did it
No, I
say?
think mine was for less. I think he put like 850 on mine.
So he was gonna get about 17
He
something.
was being slick.
Oh my
Think about
goodness,
it.
just sitting here
I'm thinking
thinking about it.
Whew.
Oh my goodness, we dodged that bullet. So back to what we were saying. We move in, he brings the stove after 3 weeks. The stove is not a fit. He brought an electric stove for a gas hookup. Totally imbecile.
Dummy.
Then after that, we tell him the toilet's not working downstairs. He didn't even come. I don't even know when he showed up after that. What, a month?
He sent some junkie dude come over here
Oh
and
yeah,
fix
the
it.
junkie guy.
Some dude.
But he know how to put together the toilet. He's and then the one that told us it ain't the flapper, it's the chain or something like that.
He fixed it.
Dude was totally suspect that came in that house. Next, it was the heat, y'all. Now, it was so cold, and I don't know if anyone has ever been in a Victorian, especially those older homes with baseboard heating. It was not working at all. We for a second there, I thought we did have heat in our the master bedroom, but you said it was what?
It was heater we bought. We
A
bought
space
heaters.
heater. Oh my goodness!
The
So we
old school heater that had like it's a weird looking shape. It looks like something from Star Wars with a silver gate,
exactly.
a prison gate.
And you remember your
on
parents
that
said, "You better not touch that. You better not touch that."
It was hot.
Said yeah. And we had a kid. Oh, good thing that Nasi would it like he was a smart kid, but it was so cold. Even with that space heater, all I remember how cold it was, and everybody had to sleep in one room. I remember that.
Yeah.
He would not fix that heat at all. And then fast forward, I think when did we move in there? Because I had fast forward a few weeks later, I had the baby. Now this is where it starts to really get really weird. So I had the baby and I had to have an emergency C-section. And anyone who has had an emergency C-section knows that trying to walk up and down the stairs, that is just on a whole nother level. Like that is some major surgery. But on top of that, the heat was not working. Then on top of that, we didn't have any hot water.
We have hot water, and then the refrigerator was messed up too.
Then the refrigerator was messed up. I don't know what was going on with that. So not only did I just get cut on, we have a newborn. We have no way to sterilize the bottle because remember, y'all, we didn't have a stove. We still didn't have a stove. How was we cooking?
What did we do? How were we cooking?
I don't know. Did we have a hot plate or something?
We bought something.
I think we bought a hot plate in order to
those little mini stove tops or something. That's what we bought. Mm-hmm. It was a dual one.
Yep. So we temporarily bought one of those, but then it came to the point like we had to get something. And remember we had to go to Rent-A-Center? wasn't it?
Because of the washer and
Because of the
dryer.
washer and dryer. We got the washer and dryer, and then we had to buy a stove.
But the way it wouldn't work with the washer and dryer.
Yep.
Something was wrong with his connection.
Yep. He didn't have I think it was a 220 hookup or something like that, wasn't it? Something with his. Look, it was all type of messed up. Like everything that glitters is not gold. So we ended up going to what did I say? Rent a center and getting that. Y'all, that is the number one mistake. Especially that when you are in a situation where you don't have any money, those buy here, pay here type of things, where that stove would have cost $400, especially now we know now that thing ended up costing us what, $2,000? $2,000 for the same doggone stove. But that's the type of level we were on at the time. So it gets really, really cold, really, really cold, and then something unfortunate happens.
I don't know why this dude came over there. Something happened with the locks. The locks wasn't working.
Yep.
So I think he came over there that day to change the locks.
Because it was an illegal locking system because he had it bolted on the front part of the door. You know, you can't have the lock on it was something else with the lock. But he came over and
This dude came over that day. And I guess he was mad because of all the issues. And he tried to get brawler towards Jack. And so that's when I stepped in and I checked this dude, and he gonna say, "Oh, cause you know karate, I know taekwondo."
He jumped back like he was
That's
gonna.
man. So I'm approaching this man. Then he did? He pick up some.
He picked up that
some,
rod,
and he ran to the door. This man ran to the front and like barricaded himself like against the front door. He was like so shook. Don't come near me, man. I know taekwondo.
And then
And
remember,
so
I got so mad.
I'm going towards this dude, and
I pick up the stick,
and her,
and my godmother holds me back.
She's like,
and I'm about to like, oh, who the F are you doing?
She's trying to stop me. Tell me, please, you don't want me to go over there to this dude. I'm telling you, this man was so scared for his life at that moment.
It like flashed before him, huh?
It was crazy. I'm like, you talking, oh, you know, taekwondo, whatever, but then you running and getting all scared and running from me. Which one is it?
But how did he know you knew karate?
I think he probably seen my black belt and stuff in there.
Oh my goodness. He walked in. I know taekwondo. Like, what the hell? He was so special. Oh my goodness. And then what happened after that? How did he get out the house? It was a big old situation.
I think he ended up saying something somewhere he has a gun too.
Oh yeah,
like
he's told T he had a gun, so I guess he was gonna shoot him or something.
Like use it.
Yeah,
Let's go.
So y'all,
I said you shoot.
Not only were we young and poor, we were like super stupid too. Like telling somebody to use a gun. There, go ahead and use it. Imagine what would have happened now.
He wasn't gonna get it off. Like,
you didn't think he would have pulled it?
I was nice with it. Like I was quick and everything. I mean, I didn't been, and I was He won't happen. He won't go in there like that.
Just thinking about our life, like we putting our own life in danger, telling someone to shoot you.
Yeah, but he won't go. He won't stupid at the end. He won't that stupid.
When my mom sitting there crying the whole damn time, I'm like, I'm gonna fuck this dude up. And I had that stick. I said, I'm not playing with him. You ain't about to hit T.
But this slumlord after that, let me tell y'all, you think he leave? He go next door because he messing with the girl next door.
Oh, yeah, the wife.
Messing with the wife.
The wife. He is messy. Messy.
He messing with the wife next door. Then he messing with somebody across the street. A couple, like two, three houses down too.
T, how you remember all this?
I got a good memory.
I forgot all about that. He was messing with them.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, more about this slumlord. We went out of town.
Mm-hmm.
How many days?
We went out of town for 10 days.
I thought it was less than 10 days.
It might have been, yeah, because I didn't have that much
It was
time.
only for the weekend.
Yeah, it was a weekend.
We went out of town for the weekend. Had to attend a funeral, and we get back. Some people in the house.
The move people in our house.
We noticed first. We like, what this motorcycle doing in the driveway in front yard and everything. Some people that moved in the house. We go there, they there. We like, what y'all doing in our house? They like, this our house. We got a lease. We're like, no, 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 no. This is our house. We have a lease. We've been living in this house. We just left for the weekend. So then there's things that go on back and forth, and the police end up coming, and the police told us that we couldn't be there. We like, what? This our lease right here. He said this is a civil matter. They're in the house right now. Y'all got to take it to court.
This is our first time ever understanding what a squatter was. Now, when we did get in the house, but what happened was, did they come back to the house? Why did the police get called?
I don't know how they got called, but they ended up getting called, and they told us police told us we can't be there.
We went in there, y'all. They was sleeping on our bed. They had our sheets. Actually, I don't know who did the laundry. That chick, she did the laundry pretty well. She done fixed up all this stuff, then moved her clothes on top of our clothes that was already there. We couldn't freaking believe it. Couldn't believe it. Totally floored.
Yeah.
Did we call him?
I don't think he answered the phone.
Yeah, because he a coward.
I don't think he answered the phone when we called him. But I mean, that was crazy. They had like, it's funny because this how you know they're being slick. They put like some sheets to cover the blinds, so you couldn't see in it. Even then, they did it to the front door, so you can't see to the front door. But when we got in, I mean, they had a big screen TV that they had moved in. That fast, one of them old school. You remember those TVs that like they're big and heavy. They're not flat screen. Those big heavy TVs. They had
with the back.
Yeah, with the back. So they had moved stuff in that weekend and everything.
And we didn't have no clothes. We didn't have anything.
So my thing is, he had to be spying on us to move some people in on the weekend that we left.
Exactly. It doesn't make any sense.
Or maybe there was even a recording device in the house, so that way he know that we were leaving the entire weekend.
Oh my goodness! Now that you talk about a recording device, we gotta add someone else to the list of bad landlords, and you know who, with the recording. Oh my goodness!
Oh my god!
Horrible!
Just thought of that.
Oh my goodness!
So fast forward, we went to the courts, and we put the money in escrow.
And this is where it got real stupid.
We got real quick. So we met an attorney there, and she's like, she was listening to our story, and she's like, "Hey, you guys want to talk to me?" She said, "Oh wow, we broke, to be honest with you.
We don't have no money.
We can't afford you.
We have nowhere to live at this point, y'all. I didn't tell them we have nowhere to live.
Yeah.
Like nowhere. Where do we stay? An extended stay?
No, the Super 8.
Super 8. Oh, we used to love the Super 8.
The Super 8. It was like $40-something a night.
We didn't have no money, y'all. Nothing. Our kids, they moved in on top of our kids had nothing. We didn't have money. We didn't have no credit cards because our credit was worthless. We didn't have anything. And the thing about it, family's there. You would think family would help you.
And this what gets me to about like when we talk about like Section 8 and stuff. There's people like that don't get it, that need help. We couldn't get
anything.
So
because the way that the system works is we made enough, quote unquote, to not qualify, but we didn't make enough to live.
Yeah. So that attorney, she took the case for free. And when we went to court.
Oh my goodness. They told us that he does this all the time, T.
He does it all the time. That's
like
what they were saying. The people that we were filing in there with told us he do it all the time.
And they said we weren't gonna win. That's how the lawyer overheard it. Be like, oh, you're not. Good luck.
So she like,
because he always wins.
She like, I'm about to take on this and win. I got something.
Because I'm tired of him. His name was known.
don't do.
So we go to court. She shows up and she was like this little short older woman, like, but this lady was a beast. Like, she was nothing to mess with. So she shows up to court and I don't know, the judge didn't award a default judgment because he actually showed up to court. But y'all, when this man showed up, his dumbass brings the new tenants to the court.
And by the way, he had like two other cases right before us with other tenants.
Yep.
Right before us.
So he was there all day.
So he brought these tenants in that were in our house with him as his witnesses.
Oh my goodness. But if y'all remember, back when in the previous video in part 3, when I told y'all that T Mrs. Colin that he should have been an investigator or a lawyer, that wasn't getting over T. T went, y'all not gonna believe this. This dude put the ad out on Craigslist. I don't know how T found. How did you find that? He put it out on Craigslist. T bought that listing to court, passed it to the lawyer. She was completely shocked. Roger had no idea. And the dates wasn't adding up. We had our lease. Then T gives the lawyer his copy of the lease. So first of all, that's another, like, what do you mean? How is there two different leases? And he tells the judge, what did he tell the judge?
I don't even remember what he told her, but I mean,
he said we ain't paid him.
Oh yeah, he said he ended up saying they didn't pay me my rent for these months.
And y'all, the money's in escrow, not escrow, but it's in a
with the court.
It's with the court escrow. And the judge was like, "Sir, it does not work like that. You do not. They are paying you, and that's another thing. We still had to pay. So not only did we not have anywhere to live, we was living in the Super 8.
Super 8.
And then we had to pay. Where we had nothing, no money.
Yeah, some nights we was like living in Super 8, but then some nights we would go stay with this family member and that family member, but then back like to the Super 8 and stuff.
Yeah, until I could get paid the next day. Because like you said, he had unemployment, right? You had unemployment?
That's nothing.
That's nothing. Nothing. So, y'all, the bottom line is, he said, no, these are the tenants. The judge said, those are not the tenants. We are the tenants.
They didn't even have a lease.
They didn't have a lease. This is how slick the judge was. He said, how much did they give you a security deposit? The tenant said, we paid them $1,700. They said, you gonna move that money over to them and you're paying them back all the money that they paid you in rent, and they are taking the money out of escrow and giving it back to you. And then this is where it really, really worked out in our favor. The judge said, you ain't never gonna do this to nobody else, ever. And gave that man jail time.
But when the judge mentioned jail time,
what he do?
Y'all ever seen a grown man like just burst out crying, like just in crazy tears?
And he's like, how tall?
I mean, he was so loud crying and everything.
It's like,
and everything. This dude was screaming.
Like snot.
Screaming, crying.
Like he couldn't believe he got jail time. And then the tenants was like, so what do we do? Judge said, that ain't my problem. So they evicted them.
He begged the judge, please, 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 Your Honor, don't send me to jail. So the judge did reduce his time. I think they ended up saying, all right, we're going to give you 3 days. So she ended up cutting it. And he's still crying, just in tears and tears and tears. And I think he ended up, the locks were changed too.
The locks were changed, yeah.
Yeah, even the dude even changed the locks. But
so bottom line is, we got the writ. Sheriff came over there. But y'all, our furniture was destroyed.
Yeah, and
we had nothing.
I remember in court too, the judge asked ex, the people he bought, the people that moved in those parts. How do you know Roger? How y'all know each other? And I think they came up with some lie, and then they end up switching from being on his side and switch sides. Like that was a complete mess.
Yeah. It was a really sad time, and this is why we don't really take these type of things. I mean, speaking about it now, I mean, it's years later, but we don't really take these type of things lightly. Like bad landlords, bad tenants, a bad person is a totally bad person. We were financially not there. We couldn't get any public housing. And even if we wanted to get public housing, every time I would try to go, we had to split up. It's not for families. So they said, well, take the mother and child, but he can't come because at the time we weren't married yet. So I mean that sucks, and I'm not going to just split. Why do that? Why do that? So we stayed, and I guess we struggled together, huh? To make sure everything worked out. But that's just the first one. That's just the first landlord, T.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure we missed, a couple of things. It was a while ago, but we know how horrible he was, and even the fact of moving somebody in there when we're gone at a funeral that fast. And like I said, it had to be some type of recording device in there, something for him to even know that we left. And then
Thinking about it now,
they questioned the leases too. That's something I brought up in court. Like I showed this her, look, she's got a lease and I got a separate lease. And when we were in court, he didn't even have the lease
he's so stupid.
because he never made a copy of the lease.
He said he didn't sign it either.
Yeah, he didn't have the lease. And then he was foolish enough to advertise the job. I mean, advertise the house on Craigslist again when we already had a lease. This dude, I mean, he was screwing up so many people getting over.
This dude has so many houses. It was back then when you could get a house for like $10,000. So he had a lot of them.
Yeah, he was skinning up. He was buying a lot of houses in like the projects and stuff, and he was putting people in it. I mean, he had duplexes, so he was charging by the room and stuff at places too. So, but every time he would screw people over, somehow then sue them, and then he's winning, winning, winning. Like they say, he won't losing cases because people won't coming with the right evidence and you know communicating properly because people were frustrated, so they're yelling and angered, letting their emotions get in the courtroom instead of handling it from a business perspective. It was more of a personal perspective because of the things that he had done to them. So his reign stopped finally stopped with us. And that's the same thing we're trying to do with this tenant that we have that's going on.
And just
That has to stop.
it has to. Bad landlords are bad landlords. Bad tenants are bad tenants. Overall, bad people are just bad people. You cannot allow people to do this to other people. And the thing is, even though T and I won the judgment, we didn't get it right away. We didn't get it. They don't just release it. You have to wait because then it has to go through the law firm. The law firm has to take their cut and everything like that. So by the time we got it, you had shipped off to the military.
Was I?
Yeah. Remember when I called you and said the check finally came?
Oh, yeah.
Like, that was months later. But it's a sad thing. It's a sad thing. And like T said, this is why we fight so hard to just bring some type of equity to something. Like, I do think that people deserve to have things, but T, let's be honest, you can't want more for someone more than the person want for themselves.
Nah. I mean, it just shows there's bad tenants and bad landlords. And you gotta fight. You gotta, make the steps, make those moves, do what it takes to handle the situation. It's not fair to just let it be. And then same thing like I said with the bad tenant, let it be somebody else's problem. So let somebody else deal with that. It's not fair from both ends. So
Exactly. So this is just the first one. We're gonna continue to release things like this, but let us know in the comments if you like this style of a video that we're doing. We're really trying to, we just really want to have a conversation to just try to change lives and just make things a lot better on both sides.
and tell us about your experience down below. I want to hear about some other bad landlords, those slumlords. So I
Yep.
want to hear it all.
And if you are experiencing a bad landlord, make sure you handle that. And if you don't know how to handle it, we'll drop a link down in the description where you can have a conversation with us and see if we can help you out, because we're here to help either way it goes.
Yep.
So with that, y'all, we'll see you in the next one.